I don't know how long this light will be. I might have to switch this over because when I'm driving, I've got the phone's moving and doing all this, and the car's shaking, and you're just moving, your head's bumping around. So, what have we learned? We learned that there's a culture program, and most people believe that lie. There's a bloodline program. I've got to change it. There's a bloodline program, and most people never escape that. The reason I'm stronger than you, whoever you are listening, unless you've done what I've done, is I broke the bloodline program and I broke the culture program. I broke the bloodline program before I knew there was a culture program. Because I said, I don't want to be a redneck, ignorant doofus. I want to think right. So I got saved, went to college, renewed my mind in the Bible. I went to college first, trying to get out of the redneck mindset. Got around some different people, roommates that were from different backgrounds. I learned to talk different talks. Then I got saved. I went to the Coast Guard. That didn't last long because I hurt my back. Then I went and took a job in Charlotte, office job, had a secretary and all that. I wasn't happy because the guy that owned the business, it wouldn't bother me now. I wouldn't care now. Go ahead. The guy that owned it was a Mormon. Back then, I was working with him. Then I got saved, and I realized he was a Mormon, and I said, I got to quit this job. I should have stayed, though. I didn't have to follow their religion just because I worked there. Anyway, that would have been a good job to stay at, but that's all right. It's water under the bridge. The deal is, after I got saved, I was able to break the bloodline program. I didn't know I was under a culture program. I didn't know this was a simulated training program. I didn't know 3D was just like a vapor. I knew it, but I didn't know it. You can read a verse in the Bible and say, your life is a vapor. So you know that. But you're still planning, you're trying to plan something when God's in control. Instead of finding God's will and God's calling for your life, you're trying to do it in your own power, If your life is a vapor, let God control it, because if you do God's will, He might extend your life. He did that with a king, extended the guy's life, 15 years, and the guy ended up doing some bad stuff. So if your life is coming to an end, just trust God, because if He extends it, you might get into more trouble than you would have gotten into. But if you're born again, He's gonna. All you do is ask God to give you some wisdom, some help. Recently, about a month ago, I said, Lord, I need some wisdom and knowledge in the situation. Now, should I park here behind that car that's ripped their side off? Should I park here? When you see something like that, it's best to make a decision not to do it. So I asked God for wisdom and discernment and strength, and I asked Him for all that for remodeling, but I also asked Him about another situation, and He finally, I already knew it. I didn't want to believe it, but I knew it. I already knew it, and so I just had to. I had this little thing in the car. It was like a ruler. So you take your hand. So this is my hand right here. You take that. Sorry, I dropped it. This is good. You need to do this. This really works. So here's your hand here. And you just leave your hand here. Imagine my hand's right there. Wham! Wham! And it stings. Just like when you were in school and the teacher said, Johnny, come up to the front, hold your hand out. And she hit your hand with the ruler. Now don't do that again. Quit talking in class. So let's say there's something that some kind of thing that you need to break that program, that habit, that connection, that relationship, whatever. And you need, in order to do it, you got to get it out of your mind. So every time that person comes to your mind, boom. And you can also do this. Tell yourself every time that situation, whatever it is, comes to your mind, a toxic relationship is what I'm talking about. So you take the toxic relationship, the toxic person, and every time you think of them, you keep the rule in your back pocket, and you replace it with, I'm going to focus on my remodeling, and I'm going to focus on my goals and my vision. And so every time that person comes to your mind, you hit your hand. Keep the rule in your back pocket during the day or somewhere, and you hit your hand. And so you train your mind, because your mind should follow your spirit. You trained your soul, or you train that. Let's say it's a trauma bond. It's not even real. It's not real love. It's just a trauma bond. And so you train your trauma bond to submit to your mind and your soul and your spirit. You bring it into subjection, bringing every thought into captivity of Christ, right? And so if it takes a little bit of pain, and so every time you do that for about 30 days, or it usually don't take but a day or 24 hours. You do that every time that thought comes to your mind. And so you train your mind not to think that way, to think in the new way. It works every time. I had a friend of mine, he said, how'd you make it through the divorce? I didn't tell him, but I just said, boom, you hit your hand. What do you mean, how'd I make it? By faith. But also I have a little secret that I didn't tell anybody until recently. And our sister in Christ, she reminded me of this yesterday. She said, just keep that ruler in your back pocket. And I said, you know that really works. She said, yeah, I know, because I tried it. It really does work, people, because those thoughts are just trauma bond thoughts. It's kind of like music. When you cut the music off, when you first cut the music off, it's still in your mind, right? So it could be a person's voice, the way they think, or whatever. So that music is still in your mind. So when you cut it off, it takes about 21 days before you don't remember those songs. But people around you, they're stuck with these songs in their mind. And you're way past that. And they find out you haven't listened to music in 10 years, it blows their mind. You haven't watched TV in 30 years, they can't believe that. But it's the fact, Jack. So yeah, I gotta find that ruler. I mean, it was like a plastic piece. And practice that on my goals. Like if you let's say you have it's a Saturday and you want to sleep in. Take and hit your hand and say, I gotta accomplish my goal, Make it happen. You're running a business and you can't there's one obstacle that you can't overcome. So let's say that plumber has one that he could go to the next level if he would just discipline himself. Take that ruler and hit your hand. Every time you have a thought. If you have a thought, well, I can't do it. Hit your hand. What do you mean you can't do it? Can't never could and won't never will. Get up and do it, man. Make it happen. What was I looking for? Taking a pill. Anyway, if you take an 81 milligram like every other day, it's actually supposed to be good for you. I'm going here to eat, so I'm just giving y'all some secrets about how I overcome the bloodline program, the toxic wives or toxic girlfriends, the culture program. I mean, I will fast. If I have something that's bothering me, I will do a 24-hour fast, and the whole time I'm praying, Lord, remove it. Remove it, remove it. Within 24 hours, he usually does. If somebody's acting stupid, just say, Lord, reveal what they're doing. And within 24 hours, he usually does. Maybe 3 days, but it's usually pretty fast. You got to have faith as a mustard seed. Believe. Overcome. You got a health issue. Lord, lead me to the right video about how to heal this. Let's see what the Matrix is saying. Let's see what this guy's saying. See what the Matrix is saying. I'm listening to this song. It's the Matrix. I know. I've heard that song. I don't know the words. I don't know the lyrics. I'll have to look it up later.